Hello everyone, good evening. This is Tarun Kotagiri, a Arete Finance Hackathon participant. Before I begin, I want to be transparent that when I started this project, I had literally no background in finance. My experience is primarily in startups, manufacturing, and operations. But I treated this as an opportunity to learn how large investment firms actually operate behind the scenes, especially in view of my upcoming MBA in finance. This presentation is the result of that learning journey. I'll walk you through the problem I explored, the methodology I used, and the insights I discovered. So the problem I chose is rebalancing at scale. The question is whether deterministic exception rules can reduce bottlenecks during high volume portfolio rebalancing without automating critical compliance decisions. The pipeline on the slide is the actual model scale. 12,000 trades, 1465 exceptions, and the rule-based resolved queries and the human reviewed exceptions. I had actually simulated all of this, which I'll be showing during the presentation. The reason I chose this problem is that it sits exactly between operations and investment workflow, and I believe my background gives me a lens for the process optimization and execution risk. The public facts establish why this problem matters, but they do not calibrate the synthetic model. BlackRock reported $14 trillion in ARM at the end of 2025. Its Aladdin Wealth materials describe high-scale rebalancing and exception-based review as relevant capabilities. Separately, the move to T+1 and same-day matching expectations compress the operating window. So the testable problem is not rebalancing in general. It is whether the exception queue becomes the constraint when volume and time pressure rises. So I built a synthetic dataset rather than trying to imply access to proprietary data. It includes 122 portfolios, 360 securities, and a lot of trades. Let me actually show you. So these were my assumptions. 120 minutes being the SLA. Let me just show you the data set actually. So I had created a data set with more than 100 portfolio master. I ran this simulation on more than 500 trades with each of their own primary exception assumptions. I had took a total of 8 exemptions as primary exemptions. So this was the exception log. The exemption, let me show you the result to talk about the evaluation rate. So the total trades ran were around close to 12,000. Exceptions encountered were 1465, and the exception rate was 12%, but the auto resolution rate was 44% of that. So improving the baseline manual hours from 471 to only 230 hours. The experiment keeps the work and analysis capability constant, then changes the operating model. Well, in the baseline, every exception is manually reviewed in a first out queue. In the improved workflow, only rule-bounded cases with sufficient confidence can auto-resolve. Restricted security exemptions never auto-resolve because concentration breaches still require portfolio manager approval. And the residual human queue gets context enrichment plus risk-based priority. The test is whether workflow design improves outcomes without weakening the controls. This is the key analytical insight. Liquidity and market impact exceptions were the largest workload, around 28% of exceptions, but 34% of baseline manual hours. Still, that does not make them the safest automation target. The best deterministic pool came from repetitive categories such as model version mismatch, stale price checks, and fractional issues. The recommendation is therefore not automate the biggest bucket. It is automate narrow, repeatable rules first, then improve the remaining human queue. Across all the 1465 exceptions, the model produced a measurable impact. Manual review hours fell from 471 to 230, a 51% reduction. The P95 cycle time moved from about 275 minutes to 133 minutes, and the 2-hour SLA breach rate moved from 54 to a whopping 8%. The delay cost proxy also declined. The sensitivity heat map is a transparent capability approximation actually. It shows that volume shocks and automation rates have to be considered together. Like at roughly 60%, automation gets approximately under 2-hour SLA, but at 1.5 hour times the volume, roughly 75% of automation is needed. So the core limitation is that this is all synthetic. So therefore the recommendation is a shadow mode pilot. First, select one liquid index or ETF cohort, validate the taxonomy and measure current handling times and overrides. Then run deterministic rules in shadow mode and compare their proposed decisions with human decisions, especially false resolutions and confidence thresholds. So only in the final phase should approved low risk categories be released with hard stops, a scale modify or a stop decision. This is a simulation of a controlled automation. So here we have many exceptions. With only manual intervention, it would have been a FIFO exception queue, but with rule based automation, all the safest bets like model version mismatch, tail price, the SSI settlement data and the fractional, which does not require human intervention or automatically auto resolved, bringing down the human hours from 196 manual minutes to only 102, which still require the manual intervention. So finally I want to conclude by saying thank you, because thanks to the finance hackathon I got to explore wide variety of new concepts even before beginning my MBA, because literally I have no clue about the finance world. My bachelor's was in technology and my experience is mostly company startups focused. So this was a very good exercise for me to get the taste of the finance world I am about to enter. Thank you very much.